What's up, y'all? It's Caitlin
and Mallory,
and we are here to step out of our comfort zone today. We want to do our very own podcast. So we are both on Spotify, and all the time we're listening to music or listening to podcasts. And I feel like podcast has done my soul well. And she comes to work often with me at My Dear Watson, and we chit chat for 8 hours straight. We never run out of things to talk about.
No.
So I felt like it was just our open door.
Exactly.
You know, we want to talk. We want to run our mouths and let people hear it. So we hope that y'all come and hang out with us today. We did a Q&A on Instagram last week when we thought of this idea. We had no idea where to start or what categories to talk about, so we went on the gram and asked Mallory's followers, and they lit up her inbox with questions.
Yes.
So we picked our favorite 10 earlier at Barnes & Noble. We went on a day date, and we picked out our favorite questions. So we're going to start and kind of run through 1 through 10 and just have fun here today. We are very excited.
Yes.
So we've got our first question here is, what is a place that you have always wanted to visit?
I see a lot of places in the States and stuff, but I really would love to go to Greece one day.
Or calling you to Greece.
Yes.
I love it.
I'm loving the water there. I'm always seeing pictures, videos of there, and I just would love to go. I used to say I did not want to go out of the country ever, but something about Greece, I just I need to go.
I love it. So I will love to travel out of the States too. I could name off all the countries and tropical areas that I would love to go to. But there is this one place in the States that I've really always wanted to go to. My husband wants to go. So that is on our bucket list. 2025 is our year for it, and it would be to travel to Colorado.
Yes.
We have some friends there, and we just love the mountain views in North Carolina, and Colorado has the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the big mountains, and I need that. I need to see that.
Rocks there?
Yes,
I would
the
love to go see
best
a concert
concerts ever. Our dream is to go to a Red Rocks concert.
That would be amazing.
And then we all know what's recreational there. But anyways, we're moving on. So we actually have number 2 tying in with, and it says, would we ever travel to New York City again? So we went to New York City for the first time this year together, me and Mallory, and we took on the big city in February, and it was a memory of the lifetime.
Gosh.
Core memories were made.
I could never stop talking about it.
We
honestly.
could not. Yes, and it was so crazy because when we booked the trip, we were such chickens.
Yeah.
We come from a small town where we know everyone, and we're about to travel to a city that has hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands of people that you don't know. And it was just so intimidating to think of going from country to city just like that. But when we got there, it was different energy than we expected. We expected the rats, and we seen them.
Yeah.
We seen them.
A lot.
We seen them. But they were friendly. Gave me Ratatouille vibes sometimes. Little Ratatouille there. But it was the energy there. People were actually nice.
Yeah.
Very nice people there. It wasn't as dirty as everyone thinks. The scenic views were actually very vibey.
Yeah.
The heights of the buildings, the lights, and the activity there. It is true when they say that city never sleeps. The city never sleeps. And it was also fun how we parked our car and never used it. We walked everywhere.
Yeah.
I actually... we had no need for a DD.
No.
We went from bar to bar and then straight to our hotel. Walking all around the circle.
Right.
You could not get lost.
And it was amazing exercise. I couldn't tell you how many miles we walked through that whole trip.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And I never once complained about any of the walking. Maybe the cold.
We were not dressed properly.
Right. Yeah.
Because we did learn the cold in North Carolina don't hit like the cold in New York.
Yeah.
Okay, the cold in New York is different. That north winter is winter.
Oh yeah.
Is real winter. Okay.
And when water hits you too in New York, we took the ferry to go see the Statue of Liberty, and the wind hit the water that hit us, and I felt like I was dying a few times, but it was worth it. All well worth it.
The sights were amazing. Statue of Liberty was amazing. The Empire State Building was amazing.
Yes.
We did do one more thing. Oh, we went to Times Square and we went to the bougie side of New York City. I'm not even sure, what is that, like uptown New York, Manhattan?
Yeah.
We were staying in Manhattan. Our hotel was in Manhattan, which that was a vibe.
Yeah,
but we
absolutely.
took our car that time. We did our last outing. We took our car. And it's so fancy to park there. You have someone park your car. Like everywhere, even parking garages, they'll get your car. It's so different than our small town.
Yeah.
Like the city caters to you.
Yeah.
Crazy. And Joe's Pizza.
Oh, I was about to say that earlier. Best pizza in the whole world.
Yes.
Could
And
not.
it was like a celebrity landmark type place. Like we walked into this pizza place because when you go to New York, you have to find pizza. And we walked in this pizza place randomly, and all of a sudden you see all these famous people on the wall that have ate there. And it was actually the home of the Spider-Man movie. So super cool. I feel like that is one interesting thing about New York City is all the history. There's so much history there. So that uptown New York I was talking about is where the Home Alone hotel is, and Trump Tower. So that was really cool. It was just like so many different things that you see on these TV shows and the movies.
Yeah.
And we were walking the streets. So it was so
amazing.
cool. We did not see a celebrity.
We did not. Well, I swear I saw Gypsy Rose on the ferry.
She could have.
But they were very covered up and everything. But
And that makes me feel like it could have been her.
it definitely had to be.
Yeah.
Definitely had to be.
Yeah.
But that's the only celebrity.
I was hoping to run into.
Celebrities.
We did stalk some houses. Will Ferrell
Yes.
lives there. Who else? It was a woman. Lady Gaga, maybe? I don't know. But there was another
Who was
famous
it?
person that lived like right down the street from where we were. Like when I Googled their house, it was like 4 minutes away.
Yeah.
So we felt the presence of famous people.
Yeah.
We did. And we saw where we stayed was actually really cool. Going back to the history tie of New York, we actually stayed at the 9/11 memorial.
Yeah.
So like our window of our room was the 9/11 memorial site. So that was really scary, but interesting. It was very interesting. And we always felt safe there. I felt like we never were uncomfortable in New York City, other than me almost bickering with the ferry guy. There was one time where the ferry guy did not want me by the exit, and I was like, homie, everybody is going to be by the exit at the end of this, because New York City is home to thousands of people. So you are around thousands of people all the time. So when you get on that ferry, there's thousands of people up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't go to New York City if you're not a people person.
Absolutely not.
Would go back. 9 out of 10 recommend. 9 out of 10.
It's amazing.
Yes, it is.
We were very lucky. We were very lucky to have that good trip, and the people
The weather.
we were with, and the weather.
Yeah. Watson took on the big city.
Yes.
If you don't know, I have a 2-year-old named Watson, and that dude ran the city.
My best friend.
Love it.
I love Waddy.
Love it. So that is awesome. So now we're going to get into some personal questions. These are just going to kind of be like get to know us type style questions. And we really love this because it is our first podcast. And for those listeners that are hopping on that don't know Mallory or don't know Caitlin, you can kind of get the vibe of who we are.
Right.
So our third question here is, what is your favorite movie?
My answer ties back to the
place you wanna visit.
you've always wanted to visit question. My favorite movie is Mamma Mia, and that is the reason I would love to go to Greece, because that was taking place there.
Yeah.
I would love to go there and just see where all the scenes took place. And there's a specific place in Greece, Skopilos, and that is where Mamma Mia was taking place. I would love to go there. But Mamma Mia is such a feel-good movie. It's my comfort movie for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Did your
amazing.
mom share that movie with you? Mamma Mia?
She did not. Actually, one of my friends
Oh, cute.
shared that with me. I knew it was a thing, but
Yeah.
we were just hanging out one day and she put it on and I was like, oh my gosh, where have I been?
I love that. So my mom actually shared Mamma Mia with me growing up, and I always took heart to Mamma Mia because I felt like the mom and daughter on Mamma Mia reminded me of me and my mom.
Yes.
So really cute mama and daughter duo on Mamma Mia movie. I love that. So she kind of drew it back to like that relationship ties. Mamma Mia is a love story. So if I was in that romance era, I would say 50 First Dates with Drew Barrymore
Love
and
that.
Adam Sandler would be like my romantic movie that I love so much. I just remember being like a whole 10 years old, watching that movie and just falling in love that he loved her so much, even though she could not remember it. Like, she could not remember him, but he took her on 50 of her first dates over and over again. And it was just so sweet, and I cried so much. And I just felt like it taught me like real, genuine, pure love. Like
Yes.
someone that loves you that much to repeat the date over and over again just to feel that connection is amazing. And I do believe that Adam and Drew are like soulmates in real life.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
I just would love them
Absolutely.
together. Would love them. But if you do know me personally, you probably would have expected me to say Star Wars, and that is the truth. Like, if I had to say my favorite
love Star
movies
Wars.
of all times, like if I had to turn on a movie for anyone, or if I was just going to sleep or chilling at the house, I'm turning on any Star Wars movie. Like,
Yeah.
any of the Star Wars movies would be my just safe place movies. Like, if I'm sad, I'm watching Star Wars. If I'm mad, I'm watching Star Wars. If I'm happy or going to sleep, I'm watching Star Wars.
Yeah. That's all of those are like, all the Star Wars movies have been like that's a big part of my childhood.
Yeah.
I literally, when I was little, I had a pink room, all princess stuff, but then in the splat middle, it was a huge Star Wars
I
poster.
just love that.
And that was like my childhood. Also Shrek.
I know it.
Shrek 2.
Yes.
Childhood
That's Watson's
movie.
favorite.
Yes. Shrek 2 better than Shrek 1.
Watson would definitely say Shrek and Cat in the Hat were his favorites. For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
But I just love Star Wars. It can be corny. Like, I know some people watching it and not really understanding would be like, this is so corny. But if you really took the lessons from Star Wars, there's a lot of lessons that you can learn.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lessons from Star Wars is just patience, young Jedi. I say that
I love
all the
that.
time, and I'm like, patience, young Jedi. Because sometimes you really can get caught up in these busy days and everyday life, and you really just need to take that second to breathe and like find yourself again. And Jedis are good about like believing in your inner power.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of reflect to the Jedis. I'm like, you know, if you just think, breathe, it'll all come to you. So there's a lot of lessons in Star Wars that I just love. So
Yes.
open-mindedness when it comes to music and movies, okay? Because there's a lot more into it. So tying it with your favorite movie snack, number 4 says, would we prefer popcorn or kettle corn?
I personally would say popcorn
Same for this.
for the movie.
For the movie aspect, I would say regular popcorn with that old white cheddar sprinkle dust.
Yes, and I would
Lit.
throw candy in mine. Milk duds
Yes.
in your popcorn.
See, I like the peanut chocolate M&Ms
Ooh,
in my
yeah, those
popcorn.
two.
So good. And I think my mom likes the Boston peanuts, like Boston. They're red like candy peanuts. They're like her movie
Ooh,
theater thing.
yes, yeah.
So I would say popcorn, regular popcorn. It smells so good popping in the microwave.
Mhm.
It's just that whole snack vibe.
Yeah.
The kettle corn hits at Christmas time only. Like, if I'm going to eat
yes.
kettle corn, it's at Christmas.
Mhm.
And it's coming from, like, the old tin cans that you buy for $10 that have the sections.
Yes.
And we used to tear that up at Grandma Keel's house.
Oh my gosh. yes.
Grandma Keel would have kettle corn every holiday in that tin can.
Oh, yeah.
And then I would get mad if I went to her house trying to eat the kettle corn and she done moved on to using it as storage. Like, you open it up, it's no popcorn in there, it's magazines. Like, Who does that?
Or sewing needles.
I think, yeah, that's why I'm against kettle corn, because usually kettle corn containers are used for other things.
Yeah.
So I think I've been so turned off every time I go to get kettle corn and it's not kettle corn. Now I'm like,
or those cookie tins, like
yes,
the big
the
ones.
butter ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So popcorn wins that one.
Absolutely.
With all the toppings. We want a popcorn bar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so nice.
Yes. Next podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're back with a snack question. Number 5 is best ice cream flavor to you. What is your best ice cream?
Usually, I would say cookies and cream.
Mm-hmm.
But my all-time favorite, for some reason, is strawberry.
Summer strawberries.
Yes.
Can't go
And there's a restaurant I used to work at, and they would make the ice cream from scratch and use like actual fresh strawberries cut up.
Nice.
And it was the best thing in the whole world.
I love that.
It is amazing.
I love fruit for a snack. Like ice cream,
Me too.
smoothies, fruit is always a winner. But when I was really thinking about this question, because it really, like, Q&As make you think.
They do.
I mean, they really do. I just had this nostalgic memory of the coffee ice cream at our family campground. Every year we would go to 1,000 Trails in Gloucester, and their store at the campground had the best snacks. Like, you can get the best hot dogs, the best nachos, and all this stuff is nothing special, but it's just like the campground vibe made it better.
Yeah.
And I would always get coffee ice cream. A whole 8 years old getting coffee ice cream like I'm an adult. It was just so good. I felt like it just woke me up. It was really, really good. So I love some coffee ice cream, but I will only get it at the campground. I'm not going to the store and buying coffee ice cream. If I'm going to the store, I would have to get like Ben and Jerry's.
Yes.
Any
Oh
of the
my
Ben and
gosh.
Jerry's, like
You
half
can never
baked,
go wrong.
lit. And I think this would be our last food question. Number 6 is, are you a salty or sweet type of snack person? Salty or sweet today?
I personally, it depends on the mood.
Yeah.
It really depends on the mood. But
Yeah.
both of them together, just like a good Chex Mix, that is so
Yeah.
salty and sweet Chex Mix.
Mhm.
Amazing.
I agree. It definitely depends on the mood, because ever since I was little, I've not been like a huge sweet cake person. Like, I don't want like sugary snacks when I'm thinking of a snack. I do think of more like the salty and the sweet. I'm not the salty and the sweet, the salty and the sour.
Yeah.
I'm more of a salty and sour type snack.
You're just salty in general.
Yes, I am queen of salty. And it's funny though, because don't you realize when I'm eating like actual food, I say I don't like salt. I don't want like salty green beans or salty chicken. I'm actually like anti-salt then.
Yeah.
But when I'm snacking, I want like potato
Right.
chips
Yeah.
and pretzels with salt. Like, I like a nice salty sour snack. And
Right.
like she said though, with the mood, so we're women here. If the men are following, close your ears, but not really. Y'all know it, but if it is that time of the month, then sweets all
100%.
3 to 4 days of it. Like,
100%.
I know I'm about to start Mother Nature when I start craving Reese cups,
Oh, yeah.
because I don't eat candy. Okay, all right, well, now I just remembered I am like Sugar Shack's #1 fan at My Dear Watson.
Yes, absolutely.
So I guess
They're
I wasn't
amazing.
a sweet person until Sugar Shack was brought to My Dear Watson, because I
Yeah.
actually do eat a lot of sugar sweets now,
Yeah.
and I do be craving them. So
Sugar Shack is an
Yeah.
exception, though.
exception,
100%.
yeah, 50-50 with the salty and sweet. 50-50. So number 7 is taking us to a different category. Now we're going to places. So are you a beach person or a mountain person?
So, I love both, but I've been to the mountains before, went with some family, and I think we stayed up too high on the mountain, and I got sick. We all got sick, and I was like, it was terrible. It was like all the symptoms.
That experience, yeah.
Yeah. But I loved the mountains. I loved everything we did. It was just getting sick.
Yeah.
Really was like, I think I'd rather go to the beach. But I did
Yeah.
love the mountain trip.
Yeah. So I'm a beach and a mountain gal. Like, I just love nature, and I can get the best feelings at both places. So it's really hard to pick beach or mountains. At the beach, I just feel like it does my body good. Like, my skin feels like it's skinning after the beach. My hair just feels so good and salty. Like, that salt air just takes over. And I really do feel like the beach just brings you like health, good health, good energy. But I do think mountains would be where I call home. Like, if I were to do like a vacation spot, like own a vacation home, I would choose the mountains over the beach, just because, one, I'm a chicken when it comes to storms, and I feel like I would do better in the mountains during a storm than the beach during the storm. So,
right.
Mountain air also just does something to my soul. Like, oh yes, this is right here when I fell more in love with the mountains than the beach, because I have actually grown up more at the beach than the mountains.
Same.
But me and Zach have really started camping at the mountains. In the past 3 or 4 years, we've been a lot. And we went this last time to Mountain Stream RV Park. So it's 3 different times we've been, and each time we've left wanting to move there. So I feel like when you vacation and you leave wanting to move there, like, that's your soul spot. And I felt so good in the mountains, and Zach felt so good in the mountains. And we did the last time the ice bath in the mountains. That was like no other. We got in a mountain stream and did an ice bath, and it just, like,
that is awesome,
brought us to life. And it's just that mountain air, that mountain energy. I do believe you get that energy from the earth there. It's just like you can feel it. Barefoot in the mountains, barefoot on the beach, all the vibes. So beach and mountains all day, every day. And the good thing about that is we live in North Carolina.
Yes.
And North Carolina has the beach and the mountains.
Yes, exactly.
So that's pretty cool. So
it's amazing.
NC people are beach and mountain people, I think.
Yes.
I love that.
It's a good mix of both.
Yes. So, number 8, Mallory.
The next question is our favorite memory together. And there are so many.
I mean, even down to New York. We just said New York was amazing together.
Yeah.
And we grew up together. We've known each other since we were born.
We're cousins.
Yes.
And
so there's lots of memories to choose from.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we both agree that our favorite was one of our most recent. Was it last month?
It was the beginning of this month.
See?
Beginning of this month.
Crazy.
That recent.
Yes.
Tyler Childers concert.
Yeah.
The best purchase we've made, I think.
And I think what makes that memory so special, though, is, one, it was so spare of the moment.
Yes.
Like,
very spontaneous.
I texted her on Friday and was like, look, I know some people going, and I don't want to go by myself. Let's go.
Yeah.
And she said, yes. I said, boop, in action.
Yes.
So we did, and we booked our tickets on Friday, and we hauled tail Sunday to the concert. Did not have anything to wear. Didn't have no idea who was going to watch my baby on Sunday.
Yeah, for real.
But we booked it, and we had faith that it was all going to work out, and it did. It was actually one of the easiest concerts I've ever been to. Like, it was no crazy traffic, and it was in Virginia.
Yeah.
So it was so crazy. We were so nervous of the traffic. But there was no crazy traffic. We got front row on the lawn. I never sit in the lawn because I'm hard of seeing. And I want to be right there. And I was like, I don't know about this. When I say it was the best seat on the lawn, like, the best.
I think one of the only things about our seat, the negative side, was the
pole.
The pole.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even anything terrible.
Yeah, there was a pole, like, blocking him for most parts, but we could see him.
Yeah.
Like,
he was right
like,
there.
Look around. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. And I've said earlier in this podcast that we are huge music people.
Yeah.
And Tyler sings to us.
Yes.
And Tyler Childers' song All You're In was one of my wedding songs.
Yes.
So Tyler Childers is something big to me. Like, I feel like we are best friends.
Yeah.
I love that memory though. We were so happy, and it was just a whole vibe.
Yes.
And I was talking earlier to her when we were going over our outline. I feel like that was also a great memory for us because it was one of our first like adult memories together. Like it was our first concert together. It was our first trip without parents. Like we didn't have our parents with us, or even Zach as a parent, because New York we went with my husband. So if anyone knows, my husband's like my parent. He'd be taking care of me. So it was cool to actually do an independent trip. Yeah. Like we went with family, but we were on our own. So yeah. I think that was really special.
Absolutely.
We felt adultish.
We did. We really did. Our next question is, what is your favorite song? And we were just talking about music, but
yes,
it actually.
And sorry, Tyler, we love your song.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all were ready for a Tyler Childers song. I know it. Yeah. What's your favorite Tyler Childers song?
Oh my gosh, probably, even though it's technically not his, it's probably Space and Time.
Oh, I love that one.
Just because it reminds me of my granddaddy. Yes. Like, absolutely, 100%.
I really love that one.
It is so good. I think S.G. Goodman wrote it, but his version.
I love a good cover.
Yes.
A good cover you can't beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite Tyler Childers song. I love Cole right now because it's just that stage that I feel like, and like I said, you have to read into songs. Like I'm not a coal miner, but I can resonate with that song, like the lyrics in the song, if I just take coal mining out of it and maybe put it in my perspective, it means a lot. But the All You're In, obviously, because it's my wedding song. Me and my husband walked down the aisle to that song, so I would have to say that one for sure. But we actually love us some Billies. And we are huge music people. So I could give you like my favorite country song. I love some Reba. I love girl artists. We have tons of music choices. Like we could have a playlist for y'all and y'all would be rocking for days. Yes. And all over the place. Like all the genres. Okay? Yeah. But there are seasons for songs that mean something. And right now, the season that I'm in, I'm really big into Billy Strings. Billy Strings just makes me tap my knee and tap my foot, and I'm clapping my hands the whole time. And it's funny because my husband actually brought Billy Strings to me one random day. He was like, he texted me at like 12 o'clock. You talking about spare the moment with Tyler Childers? Yes. I was at work at My Dear Watson, and at 12 o'clock, Zach said, Billy Strings plays, I think it was Raleigh or Virginia, but it was close. He was like, he plays at 4:30. Do you want to go? And I was like, yeah. Absolutely. Like, in my work clothes and everything, yes, I do. Even though I've always picked on him because when he listened to Billy Strings and I wasn't listening, when I wasn't trying because I just judged a book by its cover, because I was in my hard rock era, and I still am. I am a hard rock person. Yeah. I love country and I love hard rock. They're the two, and some R&B. I tell you, it's all over. But with Billy Strings, I would pick on Zach because it sounded like elevator music. His songs are so long, some of them, and some of them are very instrumental. But one day, I just turned on my Spotify, and me and my husband share Spotify. And he was listening to a lot of Billy, and some of the songs came on, and I started really listening to the lyrics, and it is like my life written in an album, and I just love Billy. So Billy Strings, Know It All. Yeah. When he sings those lyrics, like I feel like I wrote it in my diary. Like that is how crazy it seems to me when I listen to certain songs, and it feels like I wrote it in my diary. Yeah. So I've actually put Know It All by Billy on my Instagram notes. If anyone knows that you can do that on Instagram, you can put like a note at the top of your page. I actually put that on like several times. So
such a nerd.
Billy Strings, Know It All. So what's your Billy?
My Billy is a whole different Billy.
Old Billy. See, mine's a young Billy. She got the old Billy.
I have Billy Joel.
And I love him. Sings to my soul.
All of his songs, his voice in general.
Billy Joel sings to soul.
He does. He really does. Just like Tyler Childers does. But this song that he wrote, I've grown up with this song, like different stages of my life. But as I'm adulting, I feel like it speaks more to me. Yes. and it would be Vienna by Billy Joel. All the lyrics, it's just telling you to slow down, it's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be fine. And I feel like everybody needs to hear that. And it might be a very basic answer.
I love it.
But
nostalgic.
Yeah, you can't help what you like.
I love it. When Vienna comes on, it stops me.
Yes.
Like when I hear the song, I stop in place and I just I absorb it.
Right.
I absorb that song. And it is funny though, because I had to Google what Vienna meant. Because I've only heard Vienna, like Vienna sausages.
Yeah.
I had to Google that. And let me share the actual definition of Vienna with you guys, because it was actually really sweet. Vienna is a metaphor for old age, but it's not something to dread, but something to embrace. So that is so sweet about that song. When you really look at the lyrics, it's like the world is fast, life is fast, but always stop and think of Vienna.
Yeah.
You know, that is also a place, because I think I've seen it on the Wolf of Wall Street. Venice.
Yes.
That was Venice.
Oh, okay.
Okay, same thing, but Vienna is a place.
It's in Austria.
Yeah, it is a place.
I think it's in Austria.
A very beautiful place.
Yes.
It's a very beautiful song.
It is.
So,
all of it.
Yes. Look it up. Look it up.
Yes. If you haven't heard it, you must be living under a rock. But that's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Because like I said, sometimes you can hear something even and not resonate with it right then.
Yeah.
So you probably have heard the song, but you didn't really hear it. And now you are. Thanks to
You're
Mallory
welcome.
and Caitlin. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You will not regret it. So the last one to end, now that you know a little bit more about us, this one was more of like a category.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a question, and I really adored it, to where at first we weren't going to put it in because there was a lot of other questions that kind of made sense with what we were already talking about. Like there was like favorite, like certain albums and things like that, and that was really cool. But with this, I felt like it would end us to where we can start up again. We have a dream with this podcast where we want to do more. So we were thinking that would be our episode 2 vibes.
Yeah.
So we could just touch on it, and if anyone cared to follow up, they could go with episode 2.
Yeah.
So our category here was like, what do we think or feel when it comes to womanhood and friendships?
Yeah.
And I thought that was perfect for us because we're 2 women. And even though we were born cousins, we have built a beautiful friendship together.
Yeah.
And it was kind of random how it happened. Like I said, we grew up together, but we got really close as we've grown into women.
Right.
And we both come from a long line of strong women.
Absolutely.
We are related to the Keel family in Herbert County. If you know, you know. There are full of strong women. So we've had a lot of powerful women to look up to. So womanhood is very special to us. But we have all grown up to be very tomboyish. So I think other women outside of our family intimidate us a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we're not girly girls. We're, down and dirty. We are just more in with the guys. Like even the powerful women in our group, in our family, they even have male names. I mean,
You're for real.
Seriously, like all of my nanny's sisters and my nanny herself, they all have masculine names, and we're all very, very independent and masculine ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's fun to answer this category question because we can relate and also feel like we need more relation to learn. Like it's different. It's a little different.
Yeah.
I tied earlier to my store even. I own a store in Ahoskie that has 22 different businesses inside, and 21 of them are female-ran businesses. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty insane to me that me, the girl that grew up with the guy group, that was one of the only girls in the friend group, chose a job to lead 21 women. Like, it's crazy to me.
It's awesome.
Yes, but at the beginning it was tough because I feel like women are very strong-minded and very powerful on their own. So when you get a bunch of women together, it's a lot of emotions. But if you can push through your ego, it's a lot of power.
It is.
Women bring a lot of power towards each other.
Absolutely.
And then that opens a lot of new friendships. So that ties hand in hand with womanhood and friendship. If you actually let women that feel like they, you know, can't understand women, if you actually put your ego aside and let your guard down, women can be your best friends. Like,
yeah.
they understand you the most.
Yeah.
Like, women can understand each other more than a man could ever.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh.
For sure.
Yes.
I love that conversation though. Like, that would be a whole 45 minutes on its own.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And maybe we'll get our strong women
and interview them.
Yeah. I love
our
that.
family. We have many to choose from.
Yes.
I feel like our family basically takes over. We're all spread out around Hereford County, even other places.
Yeah.
But like I was telling her earlier,
Eastern North Carolina has a lot of us.
Yes. But like I was telling her earlier, I can go into Walmart and I feel like I'm having a family reunion because I see at least 3 family members in there.
Yeah.
And it used to be when I would go to Walmart with Mom, it would either we saw somebody we were related to and I knew, or we would see somebody and she'd be like, yep, you're related to them way down the line. You just didn't know it. And it's always been like that.
Yeah. And it was the women, like, not to toot our horn in our family, but it was the women that built our name. Yes. Like, I know the men carried the name, like kills come from the men, but it was the women of our family that built our family. Yeah. Like, everyone in Ahoskie knows us because of the women in our family. We're all talkers. Yeah. We talk, and that is, I think, something different than, and maybe that's something I've grown out of because back then I wasn't a talker like I am now, and maybe that's why I resonated more with the men because, you know, the men can kind of hush more and live in the moment, which is great. But obviously, like I said, when me and Mallory get together, we yap that yapper all 8 hours. I mean, we can talk. We can talk. With the men, like, we're jumping off roofs and stuff. So, and I love that. I feel like I live my childhood with the men, but then I grow in spirit with the women. Right. Like, so I love that. Yes. Women power though, all the way. All the way. Yes. And friendship really means a lot to me and Mallory. So we'll definitely do a whole nother podcast for that. Yes. That would be great.
Thank you for that question. Thank you for all the questions.
Yeah, all the questions were great. Yes. I love that. So that wrapped it up for 10 Q&As. We were very thankful for the participation on Instagram. We actually did not expect but 1 or 2 questions. Yeah, literally. And we had some to choose from, so that was really, really fun. Yeah. And we would love to do this again. We hope to start our own podcast. We don't even have a name yet. Yeah. We're hoping it comes to us this evening.
It's a work in progress.
Work in progress. But the whole point, like I said, was to jump out of our comfort zone. We have wanted to just get ourselves out there, figure out what our purpose is in this world, and I feel like me and Mallory speaking can change lives, right? Or at least build friendships, yes, and community, and that's what we're here for. That is what we're here for. So we're totally interested in doing more. If y'all have any category topics y'all would like to base on or have us touch base on, feel free to message us. You can message me, Caitlin Walther Hewitt, on Instagram. I think it's like CAITLYNN dot for like the actual name, but Caitlin Walther Hewitt on Insta.
Mine is very simple, just Mallory Fly, no spaces, no capitals. With my last name though, kind of complicated. Don't know what my ancestors were thinking. My last name is pronounced Fly, F-L-Y, but you add the T-H-E at the end. That is silent. Mallory Fly on Instagram, TikTok, whatever.
All the
any of
things.
it, all the things.
Yes, I love it. And we had a great time
We
today.
did.
We really
It's always
did.
so fun talking.
Yes. We started our homework at Barnes & Noble. We took notes. We're taking this very seriously.
Yes.
And we have traveled the whole world today to find this special spot here. Hi. Oh.